Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Abdul Ramadan, and today I'm going to record about me telling a story about Islamic story. So today I'm going to tell you one of the greatest story of all time. The story that told by many ancestors from the first until the last. So, do you know what story that I'm talking about? I'm talking about the story of the Battle of Badr. The Battle of Badr happened in 624 after decade. In Islamic history, major military victory led by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that marked a turning point for the early Muslim community, or you can say ummah, from a defensive stand toward one stability and expansion. The battle damaged Mecca trade and boosted the morale of the ummah as the viable force in its pursuit of control of the holy city. The prestige of the battle in Islamic consciousness is marked by the fact that it is the only battle mentioned by name in the Al-Quran. Very interesting. In 622, Muhammad and his Mecca followers settled in Medina upon invitation, having fled their native city in an event called Hijrah, or you can say emigration. Although the new constitution of Medina gave them a modicum of acceptance among the Muhajirin, as the Muhammad's Mecca followers came to known, remained as separate classes, unabsorbed into a socioeconomic fabric of the city. They began raiding caravans whose wares fed Mecca merchant economy, while new revelations of the Quran sanctioned aggression against Mecca, ruling Quraysh tribe for its own aggression against Muhammad and for its prevention of their worshipping at Masjid al-Haram, Islam's holiest site. Nearly 2 years after Hijrah, in the middle of Ramadan, a major raid was organized against a particularly wealthy caravan escorted by Abu Sufyan, head of the Umayyad clan of the Quraysh. According to the traditional accounts, when word of the caravans reached Muhammad, he arranged a raiding party, about 300 soldiers, consisting of both Muhajirin and Ansar, which is Muhammad's Medina supporters. Medina will with to be led by Muhammad himself by filling the wells on the caravan route near Medina with sand. Muhammad's army lured Abu Sufyan army into the Battle of Badr near Medina. There is two parties clash in the traditional fashion. 3 men from each side were chosen to fight an initial skirmish, and then the armies charged towards one another for full combat. As his army charged forward, Muhammad threw a handful of dust which flew to the eyes and noses of many opposing Meccans. Despite the superior numbers of Mecca forces, about 1,000 men, Muhammad's army scored a complete victory, and many prominent Meccas were killed. Okay. The victory at Badr was so momentous for the nascent of Muslim community that is what believed to be miraculous. Not only did it confirm to be Ummah divine sanction of the new religion of Islam, for the Quran is attributed the success to divine intervention, but it confirmed the vitality of the Ummah in challenging the hegemony of the Quraysh. Successive victories for the Ummah, save for the setback of the Battle of Uhud, eventually forced the Quraysh to allow Muhammad's followers to worship at Masjid al-Haram in 629. In 630, after years of many struggle, Quraysh surrendered Makkah to Muhammad and become Muslims. Those who had fought under Muhammad at Badr became known as Badriun and made up one of the champions of the Prophet, or we can say as Sahabat. God, guys, I'm really tired. It's like 11 o'clock, bro. Medina, Arabic Al-Madinah, formerly Al-Madinah Al-Munawwarah, the luminous city, or Madinat Rasulullah, city of the Messenger of God, Asian Yathrib, city located in the Hijaz region of western Saudi Arabia, about 100 miles inland from the Red Sea and 275 miles from the Mecca by road. It is to be the second holiest city in Islam after Mecca. Medina is celebrated as the place from which Muhammad established the Muslim community after his flight from Mecca and where his body is entombed. A pilgrimage is made on his tomb in the city of Chief Mosque. The Battle of Uhud was fought on Saturday, 23rd March 625 after decade. In the valley of North Mount Uhud, the Quraysh Meccans, led by Abu Sufyan bin Harb, commanded by an army of 3,000 men, toward Muhammad's stronghold in Medina. The battle was the only battle throughout the Muslim Quraysh war in which Muslims did not manage to defeat their enemy, and it became just a year after the Battle of Badr. Abu Sufyan became the de facto leader of the Quraysh after the death of Amr bin Hisham at the Badr 9 months prior. Wanting to the average Meccan loses the Battle of Badr, he marched upon Medina from Mecca on 10th of December 625 and after a decade, with force of 3 times stronger than the Mecca at Badr. Another reason for the battle was protected and the route the route of Sufyan caravans. The Battle of Uhud was the second military encounter between the Mecca and the Muslims, and it's the first one which Muslims were on the defensive side. The Muslims relied on for the war soon afterward, and the two armies fought in the valley below the northern face of Mount Uhud. Although outnumbered, the Muslims gained the early initiative and forced the Mecca lines back, thus leaving much of the Mecca camp unprotected. When in the battle, looked to be only one step away from decisive Muslim history, a serious mistake committed by any part of Muslim army which altered the outcome of the battle. A breach of Muhammad orders by the Muslim archers who left their assigned post to despoil the Meccan camp allowed the surprise attack from the Meccan cavalry, led by Meccan war veteran Khalid bin al-Walid, which brought chaos to the Muslim ranks. Many Muslims were killed, and Muhammad himself was severely injured. The Muslims had to withdraw up slopes Uhud. The Mecca did not pursue the Muslims further, as the mountain of Uhud had tough terrain, but marched back into Mecca out of victory. For the Muslim, the battle was a significant setback. Although they had been close routing the Meccans a second time, they breached Muhammad's orders in favor of collecting Meccan spoils. Spoils reap severe consequences. The two armies will meet again in 627 at the Battle of the Trench, in which Muslims would yet again have defended Medina and from Meccans and the others. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm really tired today.